It's going live. Got it. I consent to being live streamed.
At last.
To do with my battery. So we are apparently live.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, redirecting. I'm not sure if we are live or not. Oh, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, we managed it. Well done, everybody. That's wonderful news. Hello, everybody, subscribers, non-subscribers, visitors. I hope you're all well in these mad and crazy times. So I would say, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure, there has been a great deal of sabotage thrown in our individual directions. Lars Harrison is here with us at the moment. Hello, Harrison.
Hi, how are you guys? You know, it's awesome and nice to be here.
Yeah, we made it.
So yeah, we made it.
We did.
Despite all the internet gremlins and all sorts of technical issues, but we are here. Yeah.
Exactly. So the last recording that was due to go out a few weeks ago regarding the royal family and that movement of energy in the system, we did a huge clearing resolution, starting with the Order of the Garter and the Order of St. George and all the factions of an occult nature. And we were studying the objects of procession, where we reset the technologies. We visited the 3 domination and control universes that they're feeding off the back of humanity and Earth. And we pulled all of those into resolution as well. As part of free will, we can just do what we want, and we are doing what we want, and they don't like it and have sought actively to suppress Harrison, myself, and also Derek, and anybody else that is interconnecting into the construct itself. So what is happening is the construct is dying, and the main theme is war. And, you know, if you're an old soul watching this, you're going to be extremely tired of war. You have reached your saturation point with all propaganda. You're beyond it. You're beyond the behaviors of the collective or some of the collective, because you really cannot believe any truth is going to come out of the system of domination and control in these times, because they're moving energy into their further illusions in the 5th world of peace. The doors are closed to you because this is not the peaceful way. Their idea of the world, 5th world of peace, or the 5th time of the sun, is something very different from what we know it to be. So in last week's episode, which we are unable to access because it was hijacked, we looked at privilege, ethics, the Windsor ancestors since 1066, everybody, you know, and this all connected into the Orion Wars. Oh, and with Camilla Parker Bowles being the main hoochie of shenanigans regarding the contract. So Prince Charles is not able to sustain, what's his name? Charles. I can't even label them with that. Charles III is unable to sustain the energy required to hold those contracts. So Mrs. Darling Camilla is doing that on his behalf. So I hope that you have watched the episode where we clear spiritual contracts. This is really key going forward for you in being interconnected into that construct itself. So we identified that global warming was in fact the Borg, creating the right atmospheric conditions for pure assimilation through vaccines, mind control, propaganda, and war. And this will have affected the outcome of certain things. And it's literally like, okay, this is Concordia Strikes Back, because we've had enough of this. And we've had masses of installations being removed, destroyed, and that does reflect in some of the diluted media stories that you get out there at the moment. So we thought we'd have a look today in this spiritual court of resolution and equity. We're going to identify this in much greater detail. So Harrison, would you like to add anything at this point?
I think you have said everything that I could have said, and I think today you're gonna do something awesome that's gonna add on top of what we have done from our previous session, and I know it's gonna be helpful to those who wanna consume this material, but it's gonna rub the system in whatever way they wanna decide for themselves. But who cares? You know, it's a free will planet, and we are using our free will to do this.
So this is what I see. It's almost like bully boy playground tactics that are going on here. And in this spiritual court of equity, I'm going to invite every single living, breathing, conscious soul, essence, spirit, and humane being here with us, with Mother Earth, all ancestors, star elders, everybody from this universe present. Excuse me. And this natural flow of this awakening time into an era of peace is being affected by bully boy tactics of all kinds that are wearing down the people. And this is prevalent in the UK. It will hit Britain first. Other agendas will roll out around the construct in different countries, etc. But what we have here is the 15 subsidiaries and all those that went before them that seeded this mess in the first place. So to those 15, I would invite all incarnated beings now to rise. And this is something that you've waited for. The unified rise as per the law of one. Not their laws, not their projections, not their false ideologies and anything else that destroys you and how you identify with your soul on this planet. And Harrison, could you describe what you're seeing right now and what you're feeling in the universe?
What I'm gonna say, the house is full tonight, and the moment you have mentioned the 15 to rise up, or the pieces and parts who are already incarnated here, it's like yes, they are rising up, but there is this grumping and heaviness within themselves. You know, they know that they are considering themselves on top of the food chain, and they think they can't be pushed around or whatever they want to think. But technically, a huge portion of them has been kicked out. So I don't know what's up with some of these pieces, you know, or are they not communicating with a larger part of their hive mind, you know?
Exactly. And that was one of the things that we discovered in our last recording that was never aired, is that the hive mind was in operation and it was being installed through the puppets of this system. And you're going to notice them shorting out certain technical, mechanical behaviors, thinking, thoughts, actions, and that's really important. So to all beings that are here for this awakening, rise in this moment. with the great love that you all carry, because that is the truth of all creation, all pure creations, not substandard DNA replicas and manifestations through the blood of human, or bloodlines that were just waiting to become active, or lineages present on earth now for the great resolution. No time-altered construct may apply. What do you see now in this moment, Harrison?
It's quite funny because what I'm seeing is that they have quite a strong control on the media.
Mm-hmm.
And given most people connect with media, whether social media or whatever, they are connecting with this matrix. It varies from person to person, and they are making sure they have a very strong control, because that is what later seeps into their dream reality and worlds, and that's how they can control everybody. And I'm seeing this is why they are devising new ways of censorship and all that stuff. But whatever is happening here, it's like it doesn't matter what kind of control or censorship they try to push out there, people always find a way to break through.
They do.
Yeah, and there's so much belief in technology. I'm wondering how comes they became so powerful, like, you know. And
people believed it and still do to this day.
Yeah, and some of them, it's like they don't care, like they don't have a soul inside them, they are just doing it because they can do it and nobody can stop them, or whatever they think, there's no one to stop what they're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
they are quite wrong, because all these people standing up here have outsmarted every single move they have done. And all this gaming system that has been going down here has resulted into nothing. They have gained nothing.
It's true. So I'm going to invite the 9 beings of transformation. In Mexico, they call it Mictlan Tecutli. Can you describe what you're sensing and picking up on? Should be wearing this on my shoulder, really. Hello, transformation. Right. So what is Mother Earth saying here in this great transformation?
I'm seeing the color like that of the amethyst. I think it's purple. And I'm trying to sense what it does, but it looks like part of it belongs to Mama Earth. And the funny thing in this session, she is quite big than what I've seen or perceived her from before.
Yes.
And it's like she's becoming stronger and stronger as days goes by. And the freer she becomes, the more free we as her children become, and
So
vice versa.
yeah,
So it's like she too has a couple of moves that she has hidden from everyone, and only her knows these moves, and she's gonna make whenever she feels she wanna do those moves. And I can say it's gonna screw up the entire system that they have down here. And um, I think that's what they are trying to suppress, her making some of these moves, because it's gonna crumble the entire system.
it is, and it's a mass illusion being projected. Now, these projections are clearing back, right? Clearing back out of time, in time, all time scenarios, individual time, planetary time, universals, multiversal time. And we're just providing our dear Mother Earth with the support throughout the dream worlds, realms of control. They're going to start closing down. False dreamtime cities are going to start closing down.
Oh, the system is not gonna like that, because at the moment they have nobody to repair those cities. You know, the moment that is shut down, it's gone.
All false illusion and drama.
Yeah. Ooh.
Could you describe to me the deconstruction process that you're sensing, please?
I'm feeling there's a lot of stuff happening in the background. And what I'm picking up, like in just one word, that they are, it's one of the strong move for the system is debt. And this is what they are pushing all over people, because if they create this illusion of debt, you got hold to everyone from their past, present, and future. And this is their card. It doesn't matter how they play it, it doesn't matter how they do it. They think with this card, they are gonna, it doesn't matter what or which time that you are in, they gotta keep um, their control on that card.
Yeah, it literally is like their spokes puppet is the WEF, you will own nothing and be happy. Oh, really now? So
Yeah.
let's just have all those incarnated now for this awakening. What do they say about that? It's not me, it's not you, it's them, all of us as one.
Everybody's rejecting this debt, and they don't want it.
There's a bill
But there's this
going out
aspect.
individually.
Yeah, nobody wants the debt, but this has to play out into the natural reality that we are here, that we are seeing with our own two eyes.
Yeah.
And
So what's the blockage there?
the blockage is this illusion they are creating through their media, like they have control, like this one powerful currency that's there, and if you try to dismantle it or work against it, somebody is behind, comes along and smashes your head with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So this mass violation.
Yeah, there is mass violation, because they are violating every single person's free will who is here. They have violated their free will in, I don't know, there's no measure to even see how they have violated that free will, because on top of that they have placed debts on people, and they have taxed that debt, and it's like they are charging an arm and a leg for whatever they are doing.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I just would like to invite all souls from all soul groups, incarnated consciously, to start delivering their bills back. No contract. Ooh, that's exciting, isn't it? Did you feel that?
Yeah, and I don't know, but what I'm getting is that something big is coming up, and it's gonna smash whatever is happening. But I'm asking, we have been hearing this talk of something big. We need to see the physical manifestation of it. But
Yeah.
Mother Earth is reminding us here in the court that some of these things manifest very quickly in the spiritual realm, but it takes time to manifest in the physical realm where we are.
It's true.
And
so in this moment, I have a solution for that. So all soul groups present, all incarnated beings now, activate full awakening program within self and self universe. And in this divine moment of prayer, we bring together all elements of currency through the waters of earth, the water that we drink, we bathe in, we cook with, the eternal fire, the eternal waters, the soil, the wind. In individual universes of our own. We feel the flow of all things as her heartbeat reigns on earth. It is providing a stable environment for the natural, uncontrolled, untethered flow to occur. It's a very physical sensation. So let's just look at all the soul groups and just check that they're receiving the flow as they need and require, as is their divine right, not the divine right of some idiot from somewhere else. The opportunities are here for them to live in peace, but they reject and they push and they leave no other opportunity or any type of situation other than resolution. Did I say revolution? I did, but people have to stand up. So all soul groups, all universal beings of free will, truth, peace, honesty, and unconditional love step forward with earth. Because we're saying no, we reject your debt-based society. Can you describe what you're saying is happening to the 15? And subsidiaries and whatever's predecessors?
Yeah, some of the thing that I have seen is that they have taken these infinite waters that they have managed to turn it into currency, and they have piped it. And at the end of the pipes, they have built huge meters. So they have turned an infinite resource into a finite resource that they can meet and charge an arm and a leg. on it. And there was this guy standing in one of the endpoints, strongly holding one of the valves. They don't
Okay.
want, yeah, and then it's like at some point the water becomes too powerful and it comes crashing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he was just blasted off together with this valve.
Yes,
And
and I really enjoyed that. What many people would not know is that I studied this for a while as a child. So funny. To me, it's funny now, realizing that. Right, so infinite waters. I'm going to restrict their flow. Put that in place. It's not actually, I'm just initiating the other aspects doing that right now with all of us present as one. Everybody knows a bit of something to bring together in this moment to halt their misuse of the eternal fire, the infinite waters, the earth, and the air and the winds. And the spirit and the soul that lies within. I'm being cussed up left, right, and centre. Oh, well.
yeah, because I was also picking there were matters to deal with the law where they have been able to manipulate it and in such ways that it has worked very well for them, and it's just twisting the natural law. And whatever these people who are here, they have decided that they want to govern with, they have taken that, twisted it, and it has worked really good for them, and it's being looked into.
So I want to arrange for the flow to be directed to all souls incarnated now. And I also want you to check the status of the guy with the hammer, ready to smash it all down.
It's like I'm seeing these I don't know, I can call them accountants, and it's like they are very, very old. And some of them I'm seeing with specs. It's like how the imagery is coming to me. And it's like they are going on these records, word after word, letter after letter, looking at what is happening. And there's a lot of unease here because you can't outsmart these guys looking at these contracts. And it's like some of these guys want to come over, these guys who are looking over, and distract them so that they can pass some of the, they
Passing the
can pass
buck.
some fine things. Yeah.
We've got our
And
independent auditors there too.
yeah.
Right, and this goes right the way through. I'm just going to start here with City of London.
It's like with the passing of the Queen, there was a huge hole that has been plugged into that system. And
Blood money.
the system is no longer gonna be as it was before, because by the time energies were being anchored, they were anchored with full magicians who knew what they were doing. And at the moment, they don't even have a fraction of those magicians that they had back then. So, and a huge chunk of the backup system they had has been squashed. So
Going for all backups and all false accounting books that are used to manipulate, right? I can feel and sense Earth Mother. She is just chuckling to herself. Wild daughter says yes.
Wow, and it's like the way they want to create this illusion of scarcity in terms of finances, in terms of food, in terms of everything. You know, I think one of the cards that Mama Earth has is where they're going to create this illusion of scarcity. And she's going to create food in her own ways, magical ways that she does. And the only thing it's going to result into is there's the cities that they have created that has worked so well for them. They are going to crumble and people are going to run away from those places.
That's right. So they're going to run into the country.
Yeah, into an area where they can eat. And I think that's one of the way the system is gonna crumble, and they're just playing right into the hands of what is there, you know.
So how are the early auditors looking? How is that going? What's the general synopsis?
As they are looking over these documents, some of them are coming along some phrases that have been inserted there, and they are like, aha, can you see this phrase? You know, it has been doing this. And the funny thing is that the moment they're able to capture some of these phrases, there's a lot of karma hidden into, attached into those phrases. And some of these beings have been very good in terms of passing off the karma. You know, it's not coming to them, you know, and they can ditch it over to other guys. And what's happening is that with every single soul present here, they are unanimously returning that karma to the rightful owner or the person who created it. You know, it's your karma, deal with it. And some of these multi-dimensional beings and their minions, they are gonna have a rough time, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So their circuitry.
Yeah. And I think the queen who just left, she might want to hang around, you know. She doesn't want to come back until this mess is cleared, because there's a lot of karma attached under her name, you know.
So the karma attached, what percentage are we operating at on a multiversal level that is directed to the heart of Earth and her inhabitants and all souls incarnated here now?
It's like it's operating at different levels, because there are different issues that are being handled here. You know, those issues that were just light and nothing much about it, they are over 90%, but the average of everything, if you can put everything into aggregate, it's coming, I'm seeing around 53%, around that region.
There's a backlog here, huge backlog. So that will be up to the teams to go through, and there's a huge fight. Gosh, my goodness, such movement. They will go through that, and that data will be analysed to each individual source, their connections, who they're living through. Living through other people's journeys is a no-no. So, what about the guy with the hammer and all the other guys, the magicians of those times?
Most of these magicians aren't even incarnated in this lifetime. They checked they checked out a while back, but we have some pieces and parts who are here, but they don't hold the same power as they held back then.
No.
And everything is out into the light. So they're operating on this illusion that they have power and all that stuff, and using the media, it has been working quite well for those who follow the news and whatever is happening. And this is where this guy with the hammer is coming in, because anybody who is trying to move away from that narrative, he has found a way of, hammering them and bringing them back into line.
Hello, Mr. Hammer. How are you? I'm just fronting up the man with the hammer. How is his demeanor?
It's like the moment I'm looking deep within him, he appears like smoke, like he has no soul, like there's no even a single shade of light within this person. It's like darkness to its core.
He is being dissolved. If you could feed back on what you observe, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I was just seeing smoke, dark smoke moving.
Alchemy, that's the stench of alchemy. God, the planet will be better off without that. Who was going to be in direct line of the hammer first? Was it going to be the UK?
It looks like the UK is giving over its power to like states that has the resources to move out and do that stuff physically, but the UK comes in terms of finances.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a way, like it's a soft kill that they are using, where they are not the foot soldiers on the ground, but they are playing a major part. But the guy who is doing the heavy lifting is the one who is having the boots on the ground. And he has been disciplining, anybody who is trying to move out of line. And
disciplining.
Yeah. I think that country, they're gonna have a hard time because the karma that they have created, they have to balance it at some point in time.
Okay.
And
this is where it's important to bring them into view for this resolution. All lineages there connected to that initial first movement.
Oh, yeah. And as I'm talking, looks like Derek has just messaged me. Let me see if he can join us.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Hello, Derek. You must have felt the movement.
Yeah. Let's hope he sees that. I don't know how they're operating it, because the guy, it's like this hammer is split. You know, they aren't putting all their eggs in one basket. It's like it's split among different players, and I
Using it for the
just
highest bidder.
got
Bring forward the highest bidders into the
yeah.
board. Right, some screamers there.
Yeah, even I didn't expect the Chinese to raise their hands. They have a part of the
it's a
arm.
giveaway with the hammer and sickle. Just waiting for the rest. Come on, because it's about to go to the next level. Are they in it or are they behind it? Talk about the art of war. Jesus. Slowly catching monkey. I don't think so. It's outdated.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Construct is outdated. I'm just bleating that out.
I don't know. I think just because they think they have created or they have groomed this kind of a model of controlling the people, they can export it everywhere, and they think it's really workable. So,
and this has been going on for thousands of years of generations, completely having the story changed and their beliefs changed and adapted. So I'm just going to bring that into a multiversal view. All the redactions, all the lies, the disconnections, the placing between the religious installations, incarnations.
yeah, and that's what I'm getting.
The servitude of Mother Earth.
Yeah, and what I was also getting is that there's this class of people that they call themselves the elites, and every cycle they are the guys who survive because they are the guys who sell the soul of the people to the enemy or whatever agenda is happening. And their cronies or their loved ones or their lines, you know, they continue moving over and for a long time, and they can be able to trace their bloodline for centuries and centuries. And this is being brought to the books because these beings, they have created a system where they can come into their own bloodlines with their own memories intact, and they can be able to remember what they did, and so they can progress it further and further, whereas everybody is ignorant and doesn't know what's happening. And this is one of the models they have used to sustain the system. And they're gonna have trouble. And that I think this is why they're even pushing some of these agendas, because some of the souls that are coming in, they are coming, actually it's like a huge chunk of them, all of them, they are fully opened, and a huge chunk of them, we're gonna start to remember who they are at a very young age. So it's gonna be quite difficult to play that card over and over and over again. It's like it's being dismantled.
Yeah, that's exactly what's been happening during this recording, is that we have been dismantling the early bloodlines, the restrictions, the effect in the blood of the people of the now. And this is key. And there are many blood-borne conditions that were created just to do this. You know, specific races, for example, anemia, sickle cell anemia, all of these things, all of these conditions were created by the experimentation process to restrict the bloodline's ability to evolve and wake in the now.
Oh, and
Yeah. So what I'm seeing and feeling right here is the dissolution. I just see the erasure of the memories of the 15 is taking place, and that's going really well. And that's going. Could you actually just check on me for the Dreamtime false realities and realms, what the status is in those areas?
there's a bit of some dark clouds hanging around those areas, and
so are they harvesting areas where souls were traded off? Oh, it's going about to blow. What is going to happen here is a process where Earth really stamps it out, and we're just going for all false Dreamtime realities that were inserted within her. And it's going to blow.
yeah.
So I'm just scanning through her technology. And to all those that might not believe or have a sense of reality about this, what we're doing here is that I've been doing this for years now, absolute years. And there is nothing that I haven't seen happen in these scenarios. Micro scenarios, macro scenarios, multiversal scenarios, universal scenarios. And people may feel that I'm maybe polarized, but I'm not, because resolution is the key. And I'm not prepared to interact with Chinese whispers in the unseen. I will just say that. Because I endured a lot to get to this point today and worked my absolute ovaries off to get here and do this now. And it's really, I'm not polarized, I'm joyful and happy about what I do here. And if I can support a process that was meant to happen a long time ago, then I will do that. We have never been this far before, and I will keep going. And there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
That's it. Little rant, happy rant over. But I just had to say those words. Now, in my personal journey, oh, hello, Derek. This is about letting go of the final phases of construct for everybody. Do this. Hello, Derek.
Yeah, audio. Yeah, audio.
Audio.
Can't hear you. Yeah.
Who, me?
No, I'm saying Derek's audio.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Not yet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Hi, Angela.
Hello, Derek. Lovely to see you.
Same here. I love your glasses.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just like my granddad's. Oh, so we've had a few issues over the last time since the recording that we did maybe 3 weeks ago now on this. We it's just been so much. So we are straight into a huge resolution because you can't hold back progress. So we're in the process of defragging the audit system of all the misflow of currency, debt, the 15, the groups, the soul groups, and we're looking at all incarnated beings now and providing and holding a space of activation for them to come forward and step up in physical reality as an extension of self, to step up in this moment so we can have the movement that we need to see for the benefit of all here on the planet, not just the few puppets behind the scenes that are trying to basically bring humanity into a false sense of transhuman fifth world of peace, which, you know, might be peaceful for them because they won't get a response or any kickback or any type of challenge about that.
It's like their slogan, you'll own nothing, have nothing, but you'll be happy. It's the biggest lot of rubbish. They'll be happy and everybody else will be tormented.
Exactly. So they will be happy because they'll be rubbing their hands with glee. But for the rest of humanity, you know, it's going to be a very different, fearful case. So we are auditing that right at the moment. And what I would like to do is look at the person that said that, the guy from the World Economic Forum.
Exactly, Klaus Schwab.
Yeah. So you can see by the photographs that are put out there is that he is easily dominated. You know, I think there's a photograph of him in a white corset and stockings, dressed like a baby,
yes.
I think. Is that correct?
And King Charles III's also part and parcel of it.
Yeah. You know, they're all pals. So, and we know where that, you know, part of what we were dealing with in the previous recording was that flow to Antarctica, because you had a mass movement and migration of just going underground while all this was realigning and resettling and illusions being created, you know, all those 50 plus 80 years ago, whatever it is now, maybe more. Oops.
Well,
anyway.
Sorry to butt in, don't you think we should actually call in all the people that are actually involved in manipulating the world's currencies and the stock market, because it's all basically controlled to the advantage of the elitists and not to the general population. I think they really need to be called in.
Yeah, so they have been, and we've been working at a multiversal level.
Okay.
We've been utilizing, we've identified where they're rediverting the energies, and we've literally put a plug in their pipeline and rediverted it back. We've removed all the beings that are in charge of the valves and the flow, and we've also shamanically been looking at realigning the true flow with all the elements. That this is exactly what they're doing.
All right, are we live?
Yeah,
is everybody
we're live.
Hearing us? Okay, so what
if not, we won't worry, it's being done anyway.
So what I'd like us to also do in the court, in the now, is to bring in the angelic teams that are assisting Earth right now to burn and break all black magic and spells that are keeping their false system in place.
Great, because it's all part of it, and we've been doing that. It's great that you've just come in and gone, because this is really key, because this is exactly what's in process right now. So Harrison, where art thou?
Sorry?
Where art thou? What is your assessment of, can you just give a brief synopsis to Harrison of the things that are leaping out to you regarding what he said? Sorry, Derek.
Oh, yeah. What we were looking before you entered was we were also looking at the dream mode and what they were doing into that side. And what I was picking up was that I could see the clouds, they were trying to like manipulated, and it was kind of strange. But their stronghold that they have was in the media to keep the illusion running, and also creating this financial system that you are just blowing up, because they have been able to create this debt system and are using laws and the force that they have, and charging an arm and a leg for that. So this is what we are just presenting it, because in this court we have invited every single soul that has already been incarnated on this planet. So everybody is seeing what is happening, and the auditors are just going along the papers and seeing these weird fine print they have inserted in these contracts, and they have been able to subvert and pass karma to other people, so karma doesn't directly come to them. So this is what is being shown to every single person who is here on the court today, and this is where you have met us, and you have joined at a very critical area where you have just taken it into another level, and it's quite beautiful what you have done, Derek.
Because yes, it's true, because there is an element here of, you know, the truth and the beauty on this planet. And so when we've been working with all souls incarnated now, Derek, and this expression of rising up in the self on earth, with soul and spirit present, earth present. It's a very beautiful individual process. And the angelics, the beautiful energies, I know there'll be many out there saying, oh, this, that, the other, there's been false everything. But the truth of ourselves in that angelic technology, let's say, is something that has been blocked in people, but also present and strong in many. So it's the soul groups and those incarnated now for resolution and indeed revolution. We want to work with the strength of that right the way through to the physical human thought process. So we're going to increase that now, that harmony in the multiverse, and the resonant frequency will increase. If you could both just keep an eye on those things, that's really great. And if you have any thoughts there of observations that you would like to share, to bring forward or activate at a heart level in the collective, please talk it through.
What I'd like to bring through for the collective is the acknowledgement of artificial intelligence that's been set up by the splinter groups through splinter technology working with the financial system. So not only are there's the court dealing with the perpetrators that have set up the World Economic Forum, but the technology that is actually backing them up as well. So as I snap my fingers like that, a blast of light starts to blow through the circuitry of the artificial intelligence technologies, actually melting the circuit board and actually destroying it so that they will not be able to use those backup systems.
Marvelous. That's the type of source frequency work that I love. Thank you, Derek. So we're just going to go for all models and copies of that technology because they all originated from one place. They were manipulated and added onto and sent back via the future timelines. So just before you came on and I was rambling on about something else, I wanted to just align all time beings in the multiverse, in the now, in this moment, at the unified heart of Earth. Multi-levels, multi-layers, to bring and hold space for the pure alignment of the correct Earth time and flow. Because it really is all about timing. And it's perfect timing.
And
now, this could feel wiggly and a bit wobbly for some people that may be listening to this or viewing this. It might just feel a bit shaky. So here I would urge all beings to go into their core, the core of their own light technology, and stabilize. Ooh. So that the purest hypergalactic flow within, into you, separate of all frequencies of control. How does that feel to you, Derek and Harrison?
Well, what I'm picking up as well, it's bringing that to the core to stabilize is quite a procedure as well, when you take into consideration that there's the dark fleet operating off planet, which is also working with financial gain and greed. So the court is actually also bringing in those perpetrators that are working off planet with dark fleets in the galaxy. So they're actually being brought into the room right now, because you can't have core stability when they're still at large, working for financial greed and gain.
Absolutely. And I love, right, so all commanders in chief, I'm asking them to stand down. I know there are a few screens out there. That's okay. It's not very becoming of one's character. You know what it's like in fleets, Derek, because we worked. Yeah. Need I say any more?
No.
So we're encouraging all to stand down in this, because it really is game over. And the soul groups are sort of chuckling and laughing there at that. So we're going to see a certain percentage that will drop instantly, and what you'll be left is with the faction groups that are trying to steer the same ship, the ownership. So let's have all ownership folk in, and we're just tracing you back, forward. All the target groups that operate on the edges of the future. All the harvesting ships that take the energy and reroute it in different forms that we don't yet understand in this reality. All those fallen from grace. All the suffering. And dealing with that as a core of the whole. Because one of the questions Harrison talked about when he was reviewing all of his lives, why the suffering? Suffering comes at a price.
Well,
So
I'd like to add, can I add to that?
Yeah.
you're talking about suffering, and in this court, we're actually getting down to the core of financial suffering in this world. And right now, as we are holding this court in the now moment, there are different angles to be looked at. And one of the angles is climate change.
Yes.
So through the agenda of climate change, they are causing more people to suffer, more people to experience poverty, because climate change in reality is made up through the fake media, is singing their song, where in reality is the Earth is a planet spinning in space. We are in the photon belt, so things are warming up naturally on the Earth and in the whole solar system. So it's not spraying cans or methane from farting pigs or cattle in Europe. So yeah, close the animal farms down in Holland, stop the farmers from growing vegetables in Holland, but enlarge the cattle ranches in Brazil, where there'll be more cattle farting methane gases off. So you've just got to look at it in its essence. So we're calling in all the perpetrators that are gaining from this climate change agenda to enrich themselves once again through their greed at the cost of beautiful people living on the earth, feeding themselves, their families, and having dignity. So we're calling in this court these groups as well. And it's also part of the dark fleet exchanges off planet as well. So this is all being worked on right now. We've got the top people in this court of equity sitting, calling in the perpetrators, and they're being brought in one by one, but also within groups.
Great.
And behind it, also the technologies that are attached to them, which is so important.
It really, really is. Now, in the last recording that miraculously disappeared into the ethers,
yes.
Via their AI construct, what we found is that the climate change technology that they misuse as part of Earth systems, they're utilizing or trying to utilize that particular atmospheric condition to provide the right host conditions for the Borg and hive mind. So we're just going to run a sweep through Earth and just check on that. And then we found the Borg puppets that had already been assimilated and are regularly wheeled in and out through the media to achieve that agenda, but also signal-based technologies, Atlantean technologies, but also we have the dramatic misuse of Pleiadian technologies here too.
I'd also like to just mention that in the court right now, there's almost a switching of timelines, bringing in a future court of equity. So the future court of equity is actually coming in now, dealing with timelines that have been switched or could possibly be changed to the advantage of these greedy perpetrators enriching themselves, enslaving other people at the cost of human dignity, human lives. So we're bringing in a future court of equity, which is actually very important.
Yeah.
They're stepping in, they've got the records of what has transpired into the future. So not only are we working with the current court in the now moment, we're working with futures. And you can talk about future stocks, future shares. So that's why the future court has actually come in to deal with this as well, to stop it in its tracks, right in the now moment.
Brilliant. And I would like to just ensure that that goes 333 generations forward, backward, through all soul groups, all individual incarnates. Oh, that's some tremendous movement. I'm just going to just ensure that all corporate functions here are also included. I just wanted to be very specific about that. Financial institutions, companies, Blackwater, whatever they're called, BlackRock. How are you doing, Harrison?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm seeing all of them, and also Vanguard is joining in.
Great.
So, actually, these are some of the pieces and parts. Now, guys on the foot soldiers on the ground, holding these pieces of hammers that you were talking about before, and they were hammering. Anybody was trying to leave the system. They would crucify you because of even having a thought of leaving the system, and there's nowhere they can go. Yeah.
So, foot soldiers of doom, inhumane doom. There are soulless beings here, but there are also there are unevolved aspects of people here, because there are some, especially when you're used to taking orders all the time. It's the mindset of the human. Right, so that's coming into view, because we need to do some specific stuff here to upshift the human.
So we've got the records now that have actually arrived. We're dealing with everybody's records that are in the court, all the different groups, all the different peer groups, if you will, that are behind the World Economic Forum, that have got their puppet masters in place on Earth. All their records are being brought out and they're being sorted. It's almost like going through an immigration, arriving at a country, you going there, you going there. They're sorting all these people out to where they need to go to next, we would say, to pay for their crimes against humanity. But in the higher court, and we're working with source energy, so at some point they're going to have to pay a price for what they've done, or have that experience themselves of what their perpetration has been. So we have the future court here as well. So they're going to be working with half of, at least more than half the people that have been brought in this evening, and also the dark fleet exchanges and the controllers there and the handlers are all being brought in, and they're all being sorted out just like that, with the click of my fingers in this court, stamped, signed, and sealed. And it's going to take not very long to see the changes in the reality happening on the ground, on the earth, for the common person, that they'll still be able to live a dignified life and not everything would have been removed or taken away. We will see the evening out of the financials on the planet, where it won't just be for the top few to have everything, but for all of humanity to share and share alike, because it is an abundant universe. Source is abundant, and the court is actually evening out the scales tonight so they are balanced and everyone has an equal share of what is available on earth and beyond.
That just sounds beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's wonderful. For me, it's a bit strange because I was seeing just different kind of animals. Some time back, I saw an ostrich, and as Derek was speaking, I saw a black jaguar. I don't know if what you can connect with those two animals, or one is a bird, another one is a wildlife animal. Like, what do they represent?
Well, the thing is, all animals incarnated now hold a specific frequency. Some people have incarnated as humans, but the jaguar taught the human in the early days about how to hunt, how to feed, how to live in dense forest and earth, how to navigate, but also on a galactic level. A race actually of interest is that I was examining the flying cockroach race and this repulsion to the cockroach and the fear of them, because they move around, they fly at you, all that kind of stuff. And I was really examining that for myself. And then I discovered that they are such a peaceful race. They've survived millions of years and they recycle. And it was beautiful. I didn't see anything like that near me or on me again. This morning I was presented with the insectoids, flying insectoids of a great big kind. I sort of had to figure that one out a bit more though.
Well, we'll add to what Harrison said with the panther. It's a member of the cat family, and the cats can suss out the energy of people and who has got goodwill and who has bad will. So obviously the panther's energy is around this evening, looking at all the people that have been called into the court, and their energies are extremely well scrutinized, and every single record of what they have done to mankind is actually being gone through in a very astute manner.
Yes, and further to that, from a Mexican perspective, the jaguar is earth.
Oh,
yes. There's also that vibrational frequency that they're bringing through.
Beautiful. That was a very nice sensation.
And then remember, the ostrich is an animal that is attracted to shiny objects such as gold and metals.
And the elements.
Yes.
So the wind, what do we have as a representative of the wind, the air, the ether?
The funny thing, after Derek, you have said about the ostrich being attracted to shiny things. I was just seeing this ostrich, like, I think it was kicking a crystal, like a white crystal or a ball, something it was kicking around. And it was just being playful. And I'm like, okay. Quite,
I can relate. I can so relate to that. Attracted to shiny things, kicking around crystals.
Yeah. Anyway, it's quite something. It's a beautiful scene to see, and wow.
It is.
Also ostriches, you got to have a look, do exist in some very desolate places. So I would actually say the reason why you saw one of the reasons that you also saw the ostrich is to look to see where a lot of these perpetrators in the court have hidden their assets, their wealth, and their technology. So the ostriches are actually assisting the court in actually finding what has been hidden as well.
Yes, I would like to go further with that and say and refer to my experiences with wild ostriches in South Victoria, Australia. So I would say that what's happening here is that they are rinsing and going through the dream time.
I'd absolutely agree with that 100%.
You know, I had one even follow me to the toilet in the bush. Right, so that's ramping up now quite substantially, the energy of this whole resolution, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and it's just 11:11 on my clock at the moment. What a wonderful synchronicity.
Wow. Well, I'm just going to bypass all 11 portals here and take it out to their point of worship and their projection of worship through that coded doorway. And what's going to happen is that various stargates are going to start coming into operation.
You talk about, Angela, a coded gateway. So you're 100% correct. We have the gateway keepers in the court this evening, and they are collecting the codes for all the gateways through dark, black magic, acts and spells, and that's going to be incinerated at the end of the session when we leave.
Great. I love an after explosion. That just sounds like my life. We're just going to create an explosion when she leaves. Get out, Ange.
Yeah.
Oh. Right, Harrison, how do the 15 look in this moment and their outpourings and their seeding and all that other negative technology they're using?
I think that even them too, they are pretty damn tired about this entire process, and it's like they have reached a point where anything the courts decide, they say, okay, there's nothing they can do. It's like it's now their time to take orders from somebody else. Whereas all this long, they have been giving orders to every single person. And I think it's up to them and the decisions they'll choose from here. But from the perspective of Earth, their kind of domination on control, that's done. They can't just come and muzzle everyone's free will and claim this is a 100% free will planet, whilst the people living here, they're experiencing the opposite of that.
Exactly. So I'm guided in this moment by my own soul to start deleting the construct. I'd love a description from you both.
Well, you're deleting the construct, but as Harrison was talking about the 15, and we brought in the future court of equity as well, the 15 try to escape or slide underneath the table, to use the expression, but they've actually been, it's like caught in the net, and they're having to face up to for their actions in this particular sitting in the now moment.
Great. I love it. They just still do not realize after all this resolution that there's nowhere for them to run or slide off or anything like that. All their false stories, the erasure.
So we're also going back to the originator, the Babylonian money system that was put into place with the particular creation of black dark magic and spells. And we said at the end of this sitting that that is going to be lit, burnt,
Okay.
and all those codings, and the fire for that and the spells and the black magic is being burnt right now.
Great.
From the very, very beginning.
Great. And I'm just getting and asking all those humans incarnated now who input into that to withdraw.
And at the same time, the smoke from this fire is smoldering the artificial intelligence systems technology put into place all those thousands, hundreds of thousands of years back behind the Babylonian magic system. Artificial intelligence was already installed way back at the very beginning. The smoke
Agreed.
is moving into that technology, and it's basically vaporizing it out of existence.
That is wonderful news, because that ties in, because I was saying to Harrison earlier, closure of construct and the movement of humans outside of the construct. And it brought back, I was looking through certain memories of my visits to London Obelisk, Rome Obelisk and Vatican, but also Washington, DC. So it's nice to know that the Concordia phase has, in effect, completed a 3-year cycle. And that I can happily and safely say that I've done that bit on my own. That's a personal thing.
Right, that's fantastic.
All those trips to Rome.
Well, been worth it in the long run, hasn't it?
It has been, and I was, sometimes the part, I'm just speaking from a future sense of me, but I look back at myself thinking, what on earth were you doing? Now I know it's great. I was waiting for this moment.
Yeah, and now you're gonna see the next move for the Pope. He is caught in a corner and a hard place, so he has to make his next move.
But it's not just the present Pope, Harrison. We're bringing in all the perpetrators. So you've got to go and recognize that it's all the different popes throughout the entire papacy that is actually being brought to book in the here and now, that have created a lot of human suffering and pain for people on the earth, from collecting and having to pay taxes and actually being held accountable for deeds that they did not do, to false accusations by the church in Rome.
Agreed. And I would like to include Machiavelli into that, who was annihilated by those processes, but also the Borgia popes that were instilling the false ascension promises through pay, the false ascension agendas. So people would get limited to a certain level of their own experience and then feel infinitely disappointed that they never made the journey. So they never tried to awaken. And a lot of
even
people don't. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, even as simple as the lies being told to the common, so-called inverted commas, common people, give us your pennies and we'll save you from purgatory. Those perpetrators are also being brought to book and having to pay for their greed. It might seem a little, but in the greater expanse of things, it's from the bottom up as well that the greed starts. So it didn't finish there.
No, it didn't.
And I'm also getting these screams from my ancestors, saying, bring that Pope who decided that Africans have no soul, so that they can push the slavery agenda. And
Go
I'm
on,
saying,
Harry. Go on.
yeah, he is already here in this court, deal with him, and the last person who was at the end of the chain just joined you guys, don't let that person go. Just do with him that the way you handled Hitler after his wars, you can do that. So
They are champing at the bit for that.
yeah.
So just doing a check-in here for the percentage of completion in the spiritual court of equity day.
Well, as far as the technology behind the systems, that's actually gone up in flames. We have the ostriches that are actually being guardians of the fires that are taking place in the court in the now moment. So the smoke is actually being, let's say, directed back towards source energy to be used for something else, because that is an energy as well. The actual court that's been sitting, bringing in all the perpetrators, all the people behind the current financial system, the manipulation. We've got the future court of equity that's also with us in the now. And that brought all the records through. They've been basically putting all the books, layering it one on top of the other as I'm talking. And I see them stamping it and they say, the court is done for this particular sitting. We will need to carry on again with it to hear their response from the work done in this session in the now moment.
Brilliant. And I would just like to check on something that's very important for Earth Mother, and that is the complete ionic Borg removal from Earth technology here from her. Right, I saw the last parts of the circuit being unwired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just checking that. So how does Mother Earth feel in this moment?
Mother Earth wants you to please just check in and look at that ring around the Earth with the Borg technology, where it's actually been, the blueprint is, and ask you to please have a look at that ring around the Earth.
Wow, this will affect the hearts of every human in the unseen. So we're just going to perform a universal defrag. Trying to utilize, the Borg was trying to utilize the law of one technology. So they're just going to remove that functionality, climate issues. So one of the things that is important to say is that while we're closing construct and the resolution is taking place, out of all the transhuman beings, technologies, instigators, queens, Borg, queens and kings, that it's important to note that we seek for the human element that is the battery pack for this, for that reality. And we assist and support their triage with that process. So no human aspect is left behind. And there are imprints going now. And that's just moving in a, it's moving around the planet, off the planet, like an atom being unwound.
That's very good.
Ooh. So anybody feeling that it would have acted as a ring around them, around the heart level, you know, just waiting for the expansion to occur, and then they have a higher battery pack, higher voltage output. So I knew it was going all a bit weird and, you know, anyway, I'm not going to say weird, but circuitified this week. It was all circuits and circuit boards. But it's good. Now I know why. Harrison, any observations there from the ancestral perspective?
They're quite happy with what we have done, and they are rejoicing. It's like they're having a party.
Oh, brilliant.
Of the court. Yeah.
And how are the Dreamtime realities looking? Or false realities, should I say?
The dream realities look quite clear, and some of the false realities have been shut down. So this will depend on the vibration frequency of the person and what they choose to do when they go to sleep. Some of them will be drawn into these geometric cities that are connected with these astral levels that are force.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who want to be connected to with the true earth dreaming mind, their way is quite clear. It's like they have a highway where you're not gonna miss if you wanna go to that target. It's so clear that nothing is blocking you or diverting you off that path. That's what you wanna do.
Yeah, so we're just going to put out loads of signposts and information boards. And how does Earth feel to you in this moment?
She had quite a session, and she's just relaxing, and she's quite happy with what we have done, and she's saying thank you, and we are quite we are very powerful soul, and we are one of her favorites. And I'm like, oh wow, thank you.
Oh,
Well, Harrison, I'm just about to say Harrison's 100% correct, because you know, when people are financially challenged, they go through a lot of pain and suffering. There have been a lot of suicides recently because of the financial situation. And Mother Earth feels the pain of her children on the planet. So the court doing this work is very beneficial for the Earth, and she's very grateful to the court for the work that is being done.
that's just wonderful. that is really wonderful and beautiful, and the softness of her in this moment is just all pervading. So anyone that's watching, all the soul groups, just tuning into the softness of this planetary sentient, and feel the tranquil peace of the waves, the sun, the mountains, the winds, the songs of the birds. Harmonizing in peace. Oh, that's a lot of peace.
Well, that's beautiful. And what I was going to say is, you know, we've spoken about it before in previous sessions that we're actually in the silent war, light against dark, good against evil. And in this session, for people that are watching this particular show, are being shown another level of this war. It's also bringing into consideration the war rich against poor, poor against rich, where the court is evening it out. So abundance is available to everyone, and it's a false duality reality anyway. But in this construct that we're living in, it becomes something very real that affects people's lives. And as I said, that if they're not coping, and it's most suicides are about money today and the lack of it. So it's very important that we do this work and bringing in the future courts of equity to also alleviate this problem on the earth and the greed off planet as well. So Angela, you're doing tremendous work, and I'd really like to thank you and Harrison for bringing in that positive vibrational frequency that the earth and humanity really need right now.
Thanks, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the training that helped me to do this. I really do, and the help that you guys bring with your perspectives and abilities, and to everyone, this is your capability beyond this to transform what we've known, what we've been, and what we will become on our infinite voyage. Moment by moment, we all hold it in our hands and hearts, and it is possible. Yeah, so that's just wonderful. I'm absolutely starving right now. So I wanted to thank any viewer that does persist with this and watch these videos that we're doing. And if you would like a session with me, I'm available. You can contact me at Concordia Consularis on Facebook. You'll find my contact details there, or you will find, just type in Concordia Consularis into whatever thing they're using. I can't even think of the name, AI or whatever technology they're using. You'll find a way back to me. Contact me in the comments, ask a question. You will receive an answer, and if we can help you on your journey, your infinite journey, let us know. That will be wonderful. We'll be providing retreats overseas. Do get in contact with us about that for a truly tremendous and fast-track experience in bringing you back to being whole and remembering the whole story of your journey from the stars. It's really beautiful. So thanks, everybody. I've just got to figure it. Guys, have you got any last words while I figure out this technology?
That's fine. The court's closed now for the session. I'd like to thank you all very much for the wonderful work that you're doing. Thank you, Harrison. Thank you, Angela.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, thank you all, guys. And it has been a wonderful time. and process that we have gone through, and we really appreciate you guys and also all the people who have been involved with the courts. We show much gratitude to you and what you have done today in the court.
That is beautiful. You know, thanks, Harrison. They are amazing, amazing high frequency beings in operation and helping us to achieve peace on earth in this new time. So thanks everyone for listening if you made it this far, and we'll see you again at some point soon, no doubt.